Hi, I'm Jack Dunigan of thepracticalleader.com, and this is our series on the things to know before you start a business. We've been talking about different business types, and we're in the middle of one about being a business partnership. If you missed the first one of this segment on being a business partner, that's last week's episode. Go back and take a look. In this one, we're going to talk about, are you the business partner type? Stand by. Okay, there are 6 things to consider when you're thinking about going into a business. There are a lot of things to consider. When you think about going into as a business partnership, these 6 things really come into play. This is sort of a self-analysis about you and your proposed business partner. Number 1, do you have shared values? Now, the reason I bring this up is because shared values, when you both value the same things, that brings respect. Respect to each other, respect to the partnership. So do you have the same motivation, values, and similar work habits? Do you have the same understanding of what is right and what is wrong? This is particularly critical when it comes to dealing with customers and how you handle those customers and the type of work that you perform for those customers. Do you have the same values when it comes to keeping one's commitments? When it comes to handling money in terms of accountability and processing and all of that, what you do to earn that money, and communication. Now, I had a business partner for a while, and we had a different way of looking at things when it come to earning the money. I thought we needed to turn out stellar work, exceptional work. He thought good enough was good enough, and that was a huge values conflict that ended in the compromise of the business. I didn't stay with it for more than 6 months, but that's a different story. And finally, in communication, do you communicate with each other without having to be found? In other words, am I going to communicate with my business partner without him or her having to come and find me to get an answer to something or to get an accountability for something, and vice versa? Number 2, shared objectives. If you both want the same thing for business, that equals hope. You believe that you're heading towards it. All the hours that you spend, the reputation that you're building, and the products and the services that you produce, all are in hope that you get the same things from business. This ties in directly to the previous one about having shared values. Number 3, shared expectations. One of the critical factors in business partnerships is anxiety and tension and stress. And you want to add as much peace as you can to the relationship. So you must both have the same expectations of how each will contribute, of how each will respond, of how the business will conduct itself, and how the business will turn out. If you have those same expectations, then you can have peace because it eliminates these 4 sources of stress. Next, do you have complementary skills and strengths? Because you're going to cooperate and you're going to collaborate, but you don't want to compete. You can do things that your business partner can't. The business partner can do things that you cannot, and it's not a competition between you. It is a cooperation and a collaboration. One supplements the other. If you have shared values, if you have shared expectations, then those things are going to work out quite well. Otherwise, it ends up being a who's better than who situation. Creates stress, not good. Next one. The role of a spouse. Spouses or significant others are not on business agreements. They are still there. The role of a spouse. Business partnerships sometimes are husband and wife or 2 significant others together, and they form a company. That can work out quite well. It often does not work out quite well because of the different ways that people do things, and they seem to look at the relationship differently because they are a couple. Now, on the other side of that, the fact that you have a spouse or a significant other, that's in the mix, even when that spouse or significant other is not a business partner, that's still a factor in the relationship because that comprises the majority of the time away from the business and perhaps even there as well. So that is something to be considered. What role are the spouses or the significant others going to play in the business partnership? Because do not be deceived into thinking you're going into partnership with one person. You are going into partnership with one person who is surrounded by another person or other people. That's something to be considered. Those are the factors that need to be looked at. Finally, in your gut, do you trust this individual? Now, this is why business partners are best if you've known each other for a long time and if you've had cooperative, collaborative events and efforts before, so you know if you can. But if there's a little small voice somewhere that says, I am not sure about this person, then think long and think hard about it. You can probably tell before, I am not a fan of business partnerships as such. They can be big trouble. They work out well sometimes. Many times they do not. Next week, we're going to talk about the things to do before you create a business partnership. We'll see you then. Well, we hope you enjoy our weekly videos, Lessons in Superlative Leadership. And if you'd like to subscribe, click on the subscribe button just below this video. However, YouTube has made some changes so that even though you are subscribed does not mean you will get a notification. The next thing to do is to click on this little bell right next to it, and you will receive notifications every time one of these comes up. We'd also invite you to visit our website at thepracticalleader.com, where you will find loads of articles and other information to help you become an even more effective leader.